Now we try to name ionic compounds. Ionic compounds are made up of metal and non-metal elements. Or we can also see that it could be ions combined together. Okay. To name ionic compounds, we don't need the prefixes required for binary molecules. Simply, we just combine the name of the metal and the root of the non-metal followed by IDE. For example, KCl, K is called potassium, Cl is chlor, followed by IDE. We call it potassium chloride. Li2O, we combine the names lithium. I have oxygen, so we follow the root, and IDE, we call it lithium oxide. The next one here is aluminum, and I have bromide ion, brom, IDE. Next, calcium, nitrogen, so it will be called nitride. Okay, like I mentioned, it is possible to have a polyatomic ion. You just need to state the name of the ions and put them together. Aluminum here is bonded to hydroxide ion, so we call it aluminum hydroxide. Next one, NH4 is called ammonium, and then the non-metal ion is chlorine, so we call it chloride. Next, barium. Beside barium, it's a sulfate ion. We call it barium sulfate. And lastly, we have sodium. Bonded to nitrate. We call it sodium nitrate. If your metal belongs to the transition elements, Roman numerals must denote the charge of the ion in your transition metal. For example, this is cobalt, and I can see that the charge should be positive 2. So I'd say cobalt 2 chloride. The next one is copper, but the charge is just 1. Bromide. Next is gold. The charge is 3. Beside it is oxygen. We call it gold 3 oxide. Then we have iron. The charge is 3. And it is hydroxide. And lastly, we have nickel. Beside it is a carbonate ion, which actually has a charge of -2. Thus, nickel should also have a charge of +2. We call it nickel carbonate.